Hello everybody, it's me, your good friend Sparky, and welcome back to the Gamecube version of Pikmin on day 8. It's another lovely, lovely day in the distant spring. Though not that lovely, because this place is kind of awful. And it's another day where we're going to be completely ignoring the red Pikmin. They do not serve us any real purpose here, aside from maybe a little extra attack power when beating enemies. But we don't really need that either, because that's what we have bomb rocks for. Any of the really big enemies that we really need taken care of quickly, it's much easier just to explode them. So, we're gonna need a lot of bomb rocks. And, it's very handy to have a lot of bomb rocks. The problem, though, of course, being that, sometimes the Pikmin just get hung up in these skulls really badly. For instance, here's me opening up the menu and discovering that there are some Pikmin just stuck in there. For really no reason. They had plenty of chance to just kind of walk out, but they didn't. I don't know what it is about these skulls. It's just a little annoying, honestly. A little annoying. But yeah, we're going to be using a lot of bomb rocks today because we need to open up some paths. We need to quickly take care of some of the very tough enemies that the distant spring constantly throws at you. The only things that you can't really use bomb rocks to be are the swooping snitch bug, the puffy blowhog, and the water dumples, as far as like the more common enemies in this area are concerned. The water dumples really aren't a problem anyway, but the swooping snitch bug, it can be problematic. I think we took care of both of them, though. I don't think we gotta worry about him right now. I could be remembering incorrectly. But, yeah. And the puffy blowhogs, you just can't really utilize the bomb rocks with at all. Actually, I take that back. There is a way to beat the swooping snitch bugs with bomb rocks. But I don't think I discovered it at this point. You will see that method on the Wii version of this day when that is available. But I guess we'll get to that when we get to that. More bomb rocks. This spot's a little weird. Sometimes there are 4 bomb rocks here, sometimes there are 5. There doesn't seem to be... Yeah, right now there are 4 bomb rocks. There were 4 bomb rocks in that area. And sometimes there's just 5. I don't really know why. I don't know what determines how many bomb rocks spawn in that location. Either that, or again, those skulls are just a little too weird, and it can be difficult. Like, maybe the bomb rocks spawn in a location the Pikmin can't really effectively get to. It's entirely possible. And it's always great when you either lose count of how many bomb rocks you've used, or the Pikmin will just decide not to drop their bomb rocks. They'll get scared of another bomb rock that's exploding, and they'll end up just kind of running off and not dropping their explosive. But, here is the most effective way I discovered to beat Wollywogs, by the way. Just have them hop onto explosives. It's very good. It only takes 2 bomb rocks. And it can be a little tricky to have them make their mark. But yeah, it's pretty easy. Pretty easy to do that. Something I realized, though, is that there's a way to go about that where it's less cruel to your Pikmin by forcing them to blow up. It's the one instance where, or one of the few instances where the bomb rock mechanics in Pikmin 1 actually come in handy. It's where you can throw your Pikmin and then whistle them back to have them drop their bomb rocks and take off running, you can actually, theoretically, use that to your advantage and throw your Pikmin into range of a Wollywog. Drop. Wait until the Wollywog jumps and he's going to make his mark. And then you whistle your Pikmin back, and then they leave their bomb rocks where the Wollywog is about to land, and the Wollywog explodes. Theoretically, that is something you can actually do. But I didn't really think about that at the time. I was more just set in my method of just sacrificing my Pikmin very cruelly. Yeah, I could have gone about it a little smarter. And taking down this gate is actually really important, because it's a weird thing with the pathing that the Pikmin take. I'll explain a little more in a second, because the gluon drive is back. I have no idea how this works, but it means the dolphin will again lift off with its characteristic roar. That's a hard word to say. I have now recovered 23 of 30 parts. If I can find just 6 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. Very nice. But yeah. Opening up that gate is actually rather important, because there is a ship part around that area that's just kind of out in the open. You don't really need to do anything special to get to it. But depending on what gates are open in that area, it determines how the ship part makes its way back to the dolphin. If that gate is closed, the Pikmin will try to carry said ship part through enemy-infested territory and through a bomb rock gate that we have not yet opened up. But if this gate is open, the Pikmin will instead go around a little ways and carry that said part back through that watery path instead, which is relatively safe, and we don't have to worry about enemies eating them. At last, my pilot's seat! Once I get this installed, my cockpit will finally be back in order. Soon my ship will start to look more and more like the dolphin of old. Ah, the memories. This is the part, by the way. Since we have cleared out that path here, see, they technically could easily just carry it through the path we just walked down, but for some reason they don't. They insist on carrying it through that black bramble gate opening, and I don't know why. Yeah, see, they're going around here, and they're carrying it through the gate there. And if you don't open that gate, they try to carry it through this way, and that leads them through a bunch of enemies that we have not taken out yet, and it's not good. Not good in that case. It's just another weird oddity with the way the Pikmin, like, AI works, I guess. I don't have any real explanation for it. It's just weirdness, honestly. And hey, it's the zirconium rotor. This is made from rust-proof zirconium, which is particularly suited for making spaceship parts. I had to pay extra to have this installed, and I suspect the mechanic overcharged me. Poor Olimar. This is part number 3 we're going to be taking back today. Very nice indeed. And we need to do a little more area management before we can get more ship parts. First of all, there's more sheer wigs about. There's more enemies we need to feed bombs to. Except for that guy in the corner. The Bulborb we just walked by. Oh, and hey, pilot seat is back. Nice. The pilot seat. Picturing this in the cockpit, images of me lifting off into space begin to fill my tax brain. It fills me with inspiration once again. The wonders of a comfy seat. I have now recovered 24 of 30 parts. If I can find just 5 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. But yeah, that Bulbear walked by. We don't need to kill him. He can just exist, and he'll be totally fine. Our Pikmin will never bother him. These guys, on the other hand, they need to die. And taking care of these Bulbears in particular is really annoying, because you've got this purple jerk flying around. He will constantly pester you while you're trying to fight the other enemies. And it's just really annoying. He follows you around, he blows your Pikmin everywhere, and if you're trying to swarm enemies, then it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work out. I tried to take care of those Bulbears without sacrificing Pikmin with explosives, and it just doesn't work. Zirconium Rotor. Made of rust-proof zirconium, it is as shiny as new, despite being left out in this planet's harsh elements. It's probably pretty damp in the distant spring, too. I've recovered 25 or 30 parts. If I can find just 5 more, I should be able to increase my ship's capabilities. 4 more, excuse me. Did I say 5 more? I actually don't remember. And, we got this jerk, which is trying to eat my Pikmin. Not very friendly of them, honestly. It's just not friendly when you try to eat people. It's just not. You gotta be really careful, too. Because if you got a Bomb Rock Pikmin in your party, and an enemy accidentally eats them when you don't want them to eat them, it triggers the explosion, and it can end up blowing up your group of Pikmin that you don't want exploded, which is usually the case. You don't normally want your Pikmin to explode, unless you're feeding them to enemies. But, yeah, you gotta be cautious. And then there's just this part where you gotta try and get your Pikmin up here so they start building this bridge. There is a way you can sort of walk around and get up here, but it requires walking past an armored cannon beetle that's up there. And that doesn't always work out. And it might also require walking past some fire jets, I think. That's the one place in... those stumps are the one place in the distant spring where you really technically need your red Pikmin in order to do anything with. But you can ignore them entirely. So, still, we're not really going to need red Pikmin at all. Other than that, this day at this point is mostly just going to be about a little more cleanup. We're not really going to have the opportunity to grab another ship part right now. Day is almost up. Still takes a while to walk around the distant spring. There is a Bomb Rock gate that you can open to make getting from this area to the camp area a lot smoother. But it really comes down to Bomb Rock management, and you have a finite number of Bomb Rocks that you can use every day. There is also a way that Olimar and his crew can just kind of walk through between camp and here, and I completely forgot about it, honestly. I ended up wasting a lot of time just kind of wandering back and forth, because I just totally spaced that there is a very easy to access opening that you can just walk through. No problem. And, yeah. I felt really dumb when I remembered that. Right there, along the sort of side of that, gated area. You can just kind of walk through there, and it's fine. And, we need to try and take care of another Puffy Blowhog, but it doesn't really end up working out. It's this one case where the Puffy Blowhogs just sometimes don't cooperate at all. You throw enemies at them to weigh them down, and they just don't get weighed down. It's like, I don't know what the, like, clause is to get them to get weighed down or not, or if it's just random. I assume it has to be, like, a certain number of Pikmin that has to be on them, but it never just really made sense to me. I had to just kind of call it there and go grab my Pikmin, get them in my group before sundown, because I don't want them to get eaten. That would have been like 30 Pikmin that got eaten, and that would be no good. So again, the Distant Spring ends on kind of a messy note. And it leaves us with 4 ship parts we still need to get, which seems like a lot, and it is, but surprisingly, it's not going to take much effort in order to actually get those ship parts. But of course, that's for another day. 8 days since impact. There appears to be a large cluster of parts here. If my calculations are correct, then I should be able to recover virtually all of my missing ship parts. But not quite all of them. Unfortunately, there still seems to be some pieces that remain unaccounted for. I must find 4 more parts to further increase the dolphin's range. And that's the rest of the ship parts in the Distant Spring, as mentioned. And we get to see our Pikmin population results for the day. We did not sprout any Pikmin, and we lost 10 in battle. Most of them were me just kind of sacrificing my own Pikmin, because it's just way easier to force enemies to explode than really deal with them in normal combat. But, yeah, it does not come without its costs. Our yellow Pikmin total has dipped below 100, which is not great, but we don't frequently really need yellows aside from using bomb rocks. So, it's not a big deal, I guess. But anyway, that's going to call it for right now. Thank you very much for watching. This is your good friend Sparky signing off, and I'll catch you later.